The data-based art project I have chosen to undertake for the assignment is Melting Memories by the renowned media artist Rafik Anadol. So to begin off, I'll be showing a short clip of what Anadol's project essentially is. So these seething swirls that resemble cresting ocean waves, blossoming flowers, and shifting sand that are being displayed on a custom LED media wall are in fact a memory. This is the underlying concept of this project. The project initiated in 2018 and is defined by Anadol as a data sculpture, a term which he coins in order to describe his pieces of work that intersect contents of art and science. In other words, within the context of an art museum, this work is able to be interpreted aesthetically and also be engaged with without an understanding of the science behind it. But yet, when it is applied within the context of a science museum, the piece will be admired for its real data and showcasing of true patterns. So what exactly is the purpose of Anadol's mesmerizing data sculptures? Well, on the broad scope, he wanted to show the viewers inside the workings of the human brain. Anadol took a specific interest in memories. He wanted to translate the elusive process of memory retrieval, a basic human cognition which remains yet invisible, into data collections and visualize them as a form of art. For some, this concept behind the project may seem fascinating and boggling, but for others it might be seen as an idea taken too far. But this is what lies in the foundation of all of Anadol's work, as he aims in turning all sorts of data into visual and auditory material. These data then hold the promise of a new perspective, as Friedman calls the digital version of the overview effect. When Anadol began the project, he was driven by two questions. The first one was, what will happen if we had a chance to see our memories? This question infers the project as a functional information visualization, as it is intended to elucidate the complex intricacies of human memory that can be easily and fastly communicated to the viewers. However, when looking at the second question, it alludes more to an aesthetic information visualization, as he begins to question how can these memories be transformed into a poetic language of experience and artistic merit. And therefore, we see that this project is more focused on the subjective and emotive ways in which memories can be experienced. Therefore, to conclude, the underlying goal of this project is then to transform memory into a substance and into a poetic language of experience. So when looking at the context of this project, where did the idea initially stem from? As seen by the project, its qualities are more abstract, with a lack of political, social, economical representation on modern-day issues, mainly due to the fact that the context it emerged from is from a personal experience of Anadol. Before he started the project in 2018, he returned to his hometown, and his uncle could not remember who he was, as he was in his first stages of Alzheimer's. Anadol looked at this experience as a rather philosophical one, as he says that his uncle's memories are melting, which is also supported by the scientifically explanation of Alzheimer's as our brain tissues begin to disappear. As a response to this, I wanted to capture and archive what a memory is and also what it means, and also further represent what is a cognitive representation of a memory in a healthy and also an impaired individual. Although it involved a vast number of individuals, the main leaders are, of course, the man himself behind the whole idea, Rafik Anadol. He is a Turkish media artist and designer, but is also known as an AI artist and also data sculptor due to his innovative exploration in the hybrid relationship between data, media arts, and machine intelligence. He's currently living in LA, where he continues other projects in his studio, Rafik Anadol Studio. Now, Rafik also partnered with scientists at Neuroscape Laboratory, a neuroscience center in California that engages in scientific research to better assess and optimize the brain function of healthy and impaired individuals. He closely worked with Adam Gazelli, a neuroscientist and head of the Neuroscape Lab. Through partnering with him, Anadol was able to use the advantage of advanced technology to collect the data of individuals and their memories. The remaining team members, which are based in LA and worked and developed on the project in Rafik Anadol Studios, are some following designer and artists, as well as software developers. So exactly how were these memories collected and then transformed into data sets, which can later be visualized in the form of art? Well, to begin with, 800 participants at the Neuroscape Lab donated their memories for the project. It included both healthy and impaired individuals. The participants were told to concentrate on their childhood memories, by which their brain pulses were then captured during the process by an electrocephalogram. The data of the activity of the human brain was taken from the right temporal lobe and the left temporal lobe of the hippocampus, both in charge of memory formation. Then with this data of the brain waves of the right temporal lobe and the left temporal lobe, Rafik's team then created a software themselves, a custom created software, which enabled the data to be transformed into an artistic interpretation of neurons firing. This artistic interpretation took form in a procedural noise forms, which you can see in the artwork itself with the waves and the swirls. So as we can see, the role of the data is the main object of the research, as these data sets constitute the building blocks for the unique algorithms that the artist needs for the multidimensional visual structures that are on display. It can also be concluded that data here is used reflexively and therefore resembles the third narrative or our narrative by Coldry, because in spite of the fact that people could not act upon it, the project, for social issues, its abstractness does require the audience to reflect on it and interpret these artworks in relation to their life. This reflection enables the audience to understand the piece and so to make sense of the museum world that they are being in right now and how to act within it. There's also some few brief links that we can make to some literature about the data process of this project. One of them is José van Dijk, in which he talks about the ideology of dataism and its characteristics. And we see this here within Anadol's project, as he uses memories, which is the last behavior one would come into mind to quantify, but yet we are still able to quantify this, showing the huge lengths and ranges we can go in datafication of human behavior. And then also it links to the second argument from José van Dijk, in which he says that participants trust in agents that collect and interpret and share these data. And we can see this here in this project, as well as memories are seen as very intimate and personal experiences, and the people that were participated are giving away their memories or sharing their memories to the public. And this is what makes this data so valuable and also intimate. And therefore this links then to Jathan Sadowski's argument of how data is a recorded abstraction of the world created and valorized by people using technology. In this context of Anadol's project, he offers a shift in how data can now be a recorded abstraction of not just the world, but the invisible, and also unveil the hidden patterns of the human body. And this in return can be then valorized by people, in which, in the case of the project, people are paying in order to see this installation of someone's memory. So when looking at reception, Anadol's artwork gained a lot of attention from news corporations, and specifically those concerned with art-specific content, for example, Colossal and the Art News Bulletin Board. And further on, when looking at the reactions and comments, it includes a diverse set of people, emphasizing Anadol's projects reach to a wide range of audience, and also it's not esoteric to one field. These comments are mainly positive for the majority, and they all seem to take on the first narrative of data, which is viewing the use of data as a new oil for visualizing these, as quoted from the responses we have on screen: mind-boggling, outstanding, and accurate images of thoughts and memories. The project as well won an award, which is known as the Lumen Prize. It is an international award that celebrates the very best art created with technologies, and Melting Memories won the top prize during the 2019 Lumen Prize Awards ceremony. So lastly, when relating this project to literature, we can create many links to week 3 when talking about data-based art projects. Firstly, including Singer and his definition on data's art and its goal in making the invisible visible. And this clearly comes into play with Anadol's project, as we're visualizing memories which are known to be invisible for now, and mostly just a abstract idea that no one can really physically and concretely touch upon. It also links to another argument Singer makes, in which it takes a critical look on society, and we see this as the project is an abstraction of the data points collected of the memories, and the audiences are left to have their own personal interpretation and imagination of what is shown on screen, and this encourages them in being aware of their relation with the physical space and temporal time. The project can also be linked with Mimi Onuoha, in which she talks about how humans are being more conceptualized as machine readable. And here we have again linking it to Singer's argument, making the visible visible. We would never thought that memories could be datafied, and then here we have again humans being machine readable. Then we have Freeman, in which when we apply his taxonomy to the project, the data can be described as of living, biological, as the origin of the data comes from humans and their memories. Can be of social context, personal, as the memories are created by humans. Can also be of license, but closed, as the data itself was not publicly funded by the government. And can also be of time/space, but static, as the items do not change after created, as the memories collected remains the same. However, the dataset can grow if more and more memories are collected then. This leaves us to the last external source then that the project can be linked to, of Jessica Holman, in which she takes on an argument on the effects of visualization, and also we can apply this to the project in order to impose a critical stance of the project and how one can maybe see it with some flaws. So due to the project's interactivity, as it allows or encourages audience to interpret by themselves, it causes individuals to may be interested and drawn to one aspect of the artwork and negate other areas. This lack of viewing the artwork as a whole, it causes some individuals to maybe miss certain patterns created and therefore not able to experience it as a whole. And as well, she also mentions about the visualization of art projects and their importance. And when applying this to the project, we see that although it may be captivating due to its main aesthetic purpose, if we were to show this project to an audience without giving it any background to it, that it is a visualization of a memory, one would not be able to understand its underlying representation as a memory due to the lack of annotations incorporated within the artwork. So these are maybe some food of thoughts we can take along when concluding this project made by Rafik Anadol.